Hello and welcome to Rathod Science Academy. Today in this session, we are going to see current affairs of 28th March 2026. First of all, I'll let you know important topics of the day, and later on we are going to analyze each and every topic, and at last I'll be giving you prelims practice questions as well. Please do watch until last guys. Okay, let us see the topics of the day. First one is petrol diesel excise duty cut. Prices won't drop. This article is talking about petrol and diesel prices in our market. So this article is very important from your GS paper 3 under economy point of view. And next topic is 5 killed as avalanche strikes Jojla Pass on Srinagar Leh National Highway. So this article is talking about one important mass movement called as snow avalanche. In recent days also we discussed about mass movements, right? So there is one example that is saying that yes, there is snow avalanche in Jammu and Kashmir. And this topic is important from GS paper 1 under geography. Next topic is Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh ready to host Grand Kumbh Melas. So we are going to have Kumbh Melas in Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh this year. So because of this, you may get a possible question regarding this Kumbh Mela. And this topic is important from GS paper 1 under history. Next topic is new butterfly species recorded in Arunachal Pradesh and named after Zubeen. So this article is talking about one important species. So it is very important from your GS paper under environment and ecology. Next topic is amid war, India sends out invites for BRICS meeting. So as you all know that India is chairperson of this BRICS this year, and now we are going to have a BRICS meet, and because of this war we thought that this BRICS will be delayed. But even though India sends out invites for this BRICS now, so there is a very high chance of getting question related to this BRICS in 2026 prelims. And next topic is nearly 20,000 turtle eggs conserved on Hope Island. So this article is talking about conservation of olive ready turtles. So here you have to see about what is this in situ, ex situ conservation methods. And this topic is important from again GS paper 3 under environment and ecology. And next topic is a shade of dark. Yesterday we discussed about transgender amendment bill, right? So this article is talking about that. So it is important from Garnet's point of view. So these are the articles now we are going to discuss in our class. Okay, read this title guys. Petrol diesel excise duty cut. Prices won't drop. What is this article and what is the keyword actually here? Keyword is excise duty, right? And what exactly this article is telling? So now government is decreasing excise duty on petrol and diesel. But this article is saying that price won't drop. What does it mean? So if government is reducing the taxes on this petrol and diesel, obviously it has to reduce price of petrol and diesel in the market, right? But this article is saying that yes, government is decreasing this excise duty on this petrol and diesel, but it is not going to change any price in the market. What do you think about this? What does it mean? In our earlier classes, we discussed about what is the price decision mechanism, who will be deciding the price of this petrol and diesel, and exactly at 6 AM every day the price of this petrol and diesel will be decided. And on that day itself, we discussed that 70% of taxes we are paying on this petrol and as well as diesel. Yes, can you recall all those points? Now you guys tell me, this petrol and diesel excise duty which is imposed by central government, they are decreasing, and here they are decreasing around 10 rupees per litre of diesel and as well as petrol. Then there should be 10 rupees decrease of overall price of petrol and diesel in the market, right? But why it is not happening? What do you think? Yeah, we were importing. So okay, petrol and diesel prices.
So they are giving for the one prices, but they are not taking that.
Okay, yes, you are right. So actually we are importing crude oil from which countries? Normally West Asian countries, we are getting from Russia, etc. So whatever the crude oil prices are there in international market, it had been increased, right? So now it is around $122 per barrel. Earlier we discussed $108 per barrel. Now it is $122 per barrel. And 1 barrel is equal to how many liters? I said in earlier class, not 100. It is 160 liters. 1 barrel is equal to 160 liters, and per 160 liters, now the price in international market is $122, and we are bringing that crude oil, and it will be taken by whom? Oil marketing companies, and we have oil refineries. Yes, so what this oil refineries will do? Just they will refine the oil. Yes, what is the meaning of refining oil? Whatever the crude oil you are getting, they will do fractional distillation, and they will divide the different components by heating at different temperatures, right? So we have diesel, kerosene, petrol, naphthalene, petroleum jelly, everything will comes after heating that crude oil at certain temperature. And now here your work is you have to say at which temperature we can get which component also. You may get a possible question on that fractional distillation. I think in your school days you might have studied about this fractional distillation. I don't know whether you can recall it or not. At how much temperature which product will be produced, like that. So at least you have to say at what temperature what is produced, and the question may be in this way. Arrange them. Okay, they'll give you all this petrol, diesel, kerosene or whatever it may be, and they'll ask you arrange them in an order in increase in temperature which can be produced by this fractional distillation, and they'll give you the order, and you have to identify. At least you have to know at what temperature what can be produced. That is also one possible question. So now after this oil refineries refine that oil, who will be marketing them? We have oil marketing companies, right? So what they will do? They will take the tenders and they will have their own oil tankers, and they will be selling to this petrol bunks. I think you might have seen, like petrol bunks will be getting this oil tankers of different companies, and they will be filling this oil and they will be going out, right? So actually what happened here is, now oil marketing companies, they are selling at a very low price despite of increasing of this barrel per barrel cost in international market. So they are facing lots of losses. So because of this, recently you might have seen in many petrol bunks there was closing of petrol bunks, and people they faced lots of issues related to the non-availability of petrol and diesel in many bunks. So finally central government had talks with these oil marketing companies, and finally they said that now we are going to reduce excise duty on this petrol and diesel around 10 rupees per liter, and this is going to be given to these oil marketing companies which are facing losses because of this increased prices of crude oil international market. So because of this, what happened? These oil marketing companies will be selling at the same price. So because of this, there is no change of oil, so that is petrol and as well as diesel price in the market. So whatever the excise duty now government is decreasing, that will be taken up by this oil marketing companies. Are you understanding? So this is about the this article case. So now government is reducing the taxes, but even though that is not going to the customers, because it is giving subsidized to this oil marketing companies which are facing crisis. Okay, that is about this article. So how you can expect question here is, you can get a question on fractional distillation, you can get a question on duties which are imposed on this petrol and diesel, you may get a question on oil marketing companies, okay, and you may get a question on this crude oil reserves in India and as well as across the world, and from which countries we are importing this crude oil. So all these 5 areas you have to be very thorough. And one more area you may also get a question here is, because of this West Asian crisis, what is happening here? Israel and as well as US is attacking Iran. Iran in retaliation attacking this US bases in different countries in West Asia. So especially they are targeting what? Oil and gas reserves. So they may give you a question in this way also. Consider the following pairs. In that pairs they will be giving you the name of oil fields or gas fields and in which country they are located. You have to see especially oil fields and gas fields which are in news. Okay, in Kuwait, in Saudi Arabia, in Iran, Iraq, Qatar, UAE. Okay, see that and try to make a list. so that if you are getting any this kind of pair based question, you can do that question for sure. This is also one of the most expected and 100% sure question in your prelims. Okay, please make a note of this. Try to list out this oil fields and gas fields in West Asian countries. Okay. Now let us see this article. Indian government reduced excise duty on petrol and diesel by 10 rupees per litre. Okay, earlier they used to impose 13 rupees per litre on petrol. Now it decreased to 3 rupees per litre. On this diesel, from 10 rupees per litre, they came to 0. That means on overall, on this petrol and diesel, they decreased 10 rupees of excise duty. Why? Because of sharp rise of global crude oil prices. Now it is $122 per a barrel because of Israel, US, Iran war, which is disrupting energy supplies. That you know everything. Okay, why retail pump prices are not going to be dropped? The major thing here is what are the duty cut? It is not going to pass it to consumers. Who will be taking that? Oil marketing companies. Why? Because these oil marketing companies, they are selling petrol and diesel below the cost, and they want to cover the they want to recover this crisis or like losses what they had faced. So because of this, now whatever the excise duty which is reduced by the government, that will be taken by this oil marketing company so that they can recover their losses. So because of this, it is not going to be carried to this consumers. Now tell me guys, what is the impact of this move of government? Is that a good move or a bad move? Think once. So why government is giving this kind of subsidy? If government is not reducing this duty, then what happened? Oil marketing companies, obviously what they'll do? They'll increase the price of petrol and diesel. Is that good? That will lead to inflation, right? That will lead to overall increase of goods and services in the market price. Next, even that will be increased burden on the common people. That will lead to decreased purchasing power of the people. Yes. And next, that will lead to decreased savings also. That will overall leads to economic fall. And recently, central government also gave directions to RBI. What? To maintain inflation, right, between the brackets of 4%. That we discussed, right? And next one here is, it will also going to recover the losses of this oil marketing companies. Next, but what about the burden on government? If government is reducing this excise duty, will it get the proper taxes? No. Then what about the spending of government? Will be increased or decreased? Increased. Then that will lead to what? Fiscal deficit. What is this fiscal deficit? Have you heard this concept of fiscal deficit, revenue deficit, budgetary deficit, effective revenue deficit? Have you heard these words? And on this in 2025, there was 2 questions. That 2 problem based questions in 2025 economy from prelims. Okay, they gave the numbers and they asked to identify primary deficit, revenue deficit, like that. So this time you can expect problems minimum 4 from this national income topic and as well as this budget area. In these 2 chapters only you will be having formulas, right? So from this you may get a question, and even banking sector also you may get a question. Actually in 2025 CAPF examination, they gave problem based question from economy from banking. They gave some numbers and they said that how much percentage of CRR to be maintained. So what is the percentage of CRR to be maintained? 4%. So they gave some numbers and they asked how much percent. So you have to convert them. That means the problems will not only come in CSAT, and even in a GS also from economy point of view, you can expect this time minimum 4 questions case. Banking, national income and budget. These 3 areas that you have to focus more related to this formulas and solving small problems. Okay. Make sure that you are knowing all the formulas for sure this time. Okay, now tell me what is the impact. The first one here is it will relieve this oil marketing companies. Immediate relief can be provided for this oil marketing companies, and in long term it will be improving the balance sheet of state run refiners. But on the government, what happened? There will be increasing of burden, spending. That may leads to increased physical deficit. What is the target of maintaining of physical deficit and revenue deficit according to FRBM Act? Have you heard about this FRBM Act? Fiscal Responsibility Budgetary Management Act. What it says, Geeta? How much percentage of fiscal deficit to be maintained and how much percentage of revenue deficit? It is also repeated theme of UPSC. Many a times UPSC asked question on this FRBM Act. Come on. 3% of which deficit? FD? Okay, then what is revenue deficit? Revenue deficit, Kishore? 9. It is not 9, it is CAGR. It is not revenue deficit. 0, 0.5. Geeta, Abhigna, Srimant, Akash, Harsha. Percentage of FD and RD. FD is 3%, right? But what about revenue deficit? Is it 0.5 or 0? 0? Every year we have to decrease 0.5. Then how much we have to maintain RD? 0? Okay. Check that once. This type of questions only will come. And this time you will get question on Finance Commission. Already Finance Commission class has been in, right? So they may give you question by comparing 15th Finance Commission, 16th Finance Commission. So last year or before last year they gave question regarding 15th Finance Commission. Now tell me guys, how much percentage of taxes which are earned by this central government has to share with the state government? How much percentage is it? 41. And now what the 16th Finance Commission recommended? Same or like increased or decreased? Same. And what are the criteria which are added in the 16th Finance Commission compared to 15th Finance Commission? Anything added or reduced? Reduced also, added also. Which is same? Is there anything which is same? Forest is same. Then which is reduced and which is increased? What about population? Population increased or reduced? Increased. How much percent? Earlier it is 15%, now it is 17.5. That is around 2.5% increased. And which is the thing which added completely new in the 16th Finance Commission? Which is 10%. Demographic performance, think. So in this way only you will be getting questions. Last time UPSC gave a hint that from this time onwards I will give you figures. That means numbers. So from this Finance Commission for sure you may get number based question. At least compare this 15th Finance Commission parameters and 16th Finance Commission parameters, which is increased, which is decreased, which is added new, which is stable. Okay, stable is forest and others are like some are decreased, some are increased and some is added completely new. So you have to see what are those. Okay, this time for sure 100% you will get question on FC. Okay. Now let us see this next article. Look at the title guys. What can you see in that image first? There is one car under ice. Yes. And people, they are doing some rescue operations there, right? So this title says that 5 killed as avalanche strikes Zojila Pass on Srinagar Leh National Highway. So it is National Highway. On this suddenly snow avalanche happened and because of this many vehicles had been stuck under that snow and around 5 people died in this incident. So from which subject we can see this? From disaster management because 5 people killed and many vehicles had been damaged. And even in your geography you can read this topic under mass movements. So why we discussed mass movements recently? Landslides where? Landslide where? In which state at least? In which state we had landslide? I am not asking even place. Which state? Kerala? Himachal Pradesh. In Himachal Pradesh recently landslide happened and I showed you the map of India and I said why Himachal Pradesh is frequently in news because of landslide. And now where it happened in? Srinagar. Srinagar is located in Jammu and Kashmir, right? So why this Jammu and Kashmir is having this kind of mass movements? What is the major reason? plate tectonics, right? Because of this Himalayas which are formed because of this movement of Indian plate which is moving towards northwards and hit this Eurasian plate. So whatever the sediments which are there in this Tethys Sea had been raised up as Himalayas. And even today also this Indian plate is moving towards northwards. So because of this Himalayas are highly unstable. So because of this they will have this kind of mass movements frequently. That will lead to this kind of landslides, snow avalanches, etc. Okay. So how you can expect a question from this topic? Have you seen this geography PYQs, anyone? Geography PYQs? No? So in geography they gave questions related to earthquakes, very frequently asked questions on earthquakes, and even they asked about this mass movements. Okay, so from that you may get a question from your geography point of view. From your disaster management, how can you expect a question? From disaster management, they will be asking only these things: causes, impacts, measures. Only these three things they will ask. You have to make one introduction regarding what is this avalanche, and you have to draw the map of India, and you have to see in which areas we can see frequently this kind of disasters. It may be floods, it may be earthquakes, it may be landslides, it may be droughts, it may be heat waves, cold waves. Whatever the disasters are there, you have to draw a map and you have to see the vulnerability map of India. That should be there for sure in your answer of disaster management. And next one is you have to see what are the causes, what are the measures taken by the government so far, and what is this NDMA says, what is the Sindai, have you heard about the Sindai framework? Yes, so what is Sindai framework says? So you have to see all those things. In our material it is clearly given, even with value added material, and you have disaster management next week, right? So that you will be reading that topics and you will be writing answers, don't worry. So as of now you have to remember this avalanche, this snow avalanche is because of mass movements. Okay, now let us see here what is an avalanche. Avalanche is a large amount of snow that quickly moves down the slope. And this avalanche can be deadly because it will bury or it will sweep away anything in its path. It is very, very furious. So you can see in that image so how these vehicles had been stuck under the snow. And large amounts of sliding rocks, earth or any other materials can also be called avalanches. Okay, if you see which conditions trigger this avalanche. First one is if there is heavy snowfall and if there is a very high wind, high speed wind, and even if there is any rising of temperature. Actually this is a prelims based question in physics point of view. You have science and technology, right? In that you will also get this kind of questions related to general science. Physics, chemistry and biology also can be asked. In 2023 there was a question regarding pressure cooker, and the same question was asked in like 1982 or 83 related to this pressure cooker, and they asked in 2023. And this is the question which mainly frequently asked by UPSC, that is if you are placing a block of ice, if temperature increases, what about its surface tension? And even they ask like it will increase the sliding movement of that ice like that. So what happens if there is rise in temperature, whatever the ice is there, that will be melting. So if ice is melt, what happens? It will form a layer of water under it. Then what happens? It will slide on that. Okay, so that was the previous questions. Many times UPSC asked that. I think 3 to 4 times they asked this question. Why? Because you need to know that concept. That will also trigger this avalanches. Okay, that is nothing but basic science behind this avalanche. So what happens whenever there is rising of temperature? Ice will be melting and they will form a layer of water, and that will lead to the increasing of slipperiness of this ice. So because of this also what happens? It will leads to this avalanches. And next one is falling rocks or ice can also cause snow to slide because of this rising of temperature. Okay, and even we have skiers, snowboarders and snowmobile, they can also trigger this kind of avalanches. And in this avalanches, we have two types of avalanches. One is slough, second one is slab. You have to make a note. First one is slough, S-L-U-F-F. Slough is nothing but whenever there is a weak layer of snow on the slopes, that will come and that will fall. That is called as snuff. and it will be normally small slide. It is a slide of dry powdery snow. So whenever there is a snowfall, you can see the flakes of snow, right? So if that snowfall is high, what happens suddenly, that dry powdery snow will be coming down the slope. That is called a slough. But what happened if that snow got deposited for many days? That snow will become strong ice. So if this ice is coming as a layer together, then that is called a slab. You know the slab, right? Slab of rocks, slab of tiles. Have you heard the slab? Slab means nothing but it is a layer. The layer entirely will be coming down. That is called a slab. Slab is nothing but it is a powdery snow that will be falling down. Are you understanding? So these are the two types of avalanches. Which is dangerous? Slab is dangerous compared to that of slough. Are you understanding? Okay, now let us see the next article. Look at the title. Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh ready to host Grand Kumbh Melas. So recently Kumbh Mela, Mahakumbh held in Prayagraj. So actually when we hear this word Kumbh Mela, which regions come into our mind? Traditionally Kumbh Mela is seen in traditionally Kumbh Mela means, can you recall this name, Jammu and Kashmir? Have you ever heard Jammu and Kashmir is famous for Kumbh Mela? Have you ever heard this? That is, it is a rare phenomena, right? So now you guys tell me where this Kumbh Mela is there, like where we can see this Kumbh Mela generally. One is Prayagraj, recently Mahakumbh. Next, have you heard about this Nasik? Which river? Godavari. Okay, Prayagraj, Nasik, any other? It is famous, it's in 4 areas, no? Tell me those 4 areas. One is Prayagraj, one is Nasik. Akash. Varanasi. Next. One more area. Okay, let us see here. From which subject we can see this? From history point of view, right? It is the protection of our heritage, art, architecture, our culture, everything. So normally here Kumbh Melas are seen in traditionally 4 areas. But we are listening this Kumbh Melas to be held in Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. In Ladakh, it is the first ever Kumbh Mela. Because of this year you may get a question related to this Kumbh Mela. Okay, what exactly you have to see is in which rivers we are going to have this Kumbh Mela in this Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, and traditionally where we will see this Kumbh Mela. Okay, so that is the thing that you have to see. So here this article is saying that Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh are said to witness upscale Kumbh Melas this year. Please make a note on Jhelum and Indus River. Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh Kumbh Melas on Jhelum and Indus River. That means you may also get some basic fact related questions on Jhelum and Indus. Is that possible? Last year, what was the question? Any idea related to this Indus River system? Last year, what was the question? Anyone? If you have seen 2025 paper, there was a question related to this Indus River system. What was the question? They mixed ancient history with geography. You know this? They gave Mahajanapadas. How many Mahajanapadas are there? 16. And they are present on this banks of rivers. So they asked Mahajanapadas, on one side they gave the rivers, and they asked you to find the right match. Okay, that means this time you may get a question related to this Jhelum, Indus from geography point of view, and even you have to see Indus River is related to our Harappan civilization. You have to see our Harappan important sites on which river. So now I want to ask you one question. So which Harappan site is not located on the banks of river? Normally civilization flourish across the banks of river. You know that, right? So there is one exception. There is one Indus Valley site which is not located on the banks of river. What is that? This was a question, I think, in one examination. I can't recall which exam is that. It is not UPSC but other exam. Chanudaro, think once again. But why it had flourished? Normally we will think that civilization will be flourished on the banks, but there is one exception. One site is not flourished across this river bank. But why this was flourished? What was the reason? that led to the flourishing of civilization in that area. Are you understanding my question? Check that once. Okay, next. Why flourished? Hmm? Okay, find out the answer for that. Okay, so here you have to see this time Indus and as well as its tributaries, and also you have to see major sites of Harappan civilization like that. So you have to interlink your geography with your history with other subjects like that. So if you are reading isolatedly means you cannot do the questions. That is very much clear from this 2023 onwards. Okay. So now let us see here this article. So here it is going to be a significant cultural and spiritual development of this region, and they are not part of traditional Kumbh cycle. So normally traditionally Kumbh Mela is done in this Haridwar region, Nasik, Prayagraj and Ujjain. It is not Varanasi. Haridwar, Prayagraj, Nasik and Ujjain. And now here in this Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, we are going to have this Kumbh Mela on this river Jhelum in Kashmir, Indus or Sindhu in Ladakh. So why they are conducting this? They want to revitalize or revive pilgrimage, unity and peace in this region. Okay, if you see the events, they are going to be happen in the month of June and as well as July 2026. And in Kashmir, the location is Shadipora and Bandipora districts on the banks of this river Jhelum. And who is organizing this? Swami Kalikananda Saraswati of Ananda Akhanda Math. And they are going to have holy ritual baths, religious discourses, and next one is culture programs. And they are also going to promote all faiths, not only Hindus, even Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, they can come and they can have this sacred bath. And security is provided by Indian Army and intelligence agencies for this Kumbh Mela. And for Ladakh, it is going to be happen in the month of June. And the locations are Sindhu Ghat, Leh, and they are on the banks of the sacred river Indus. Okay, that's it, guys. See this next article. New butterfly species recorded in Arunachal named after Zubeen. Okay, can you see this butterfly? Can you see this? No? It is in green color. Okay, environment and ecology is done. I want to ask one question. So why this butterfly is in green color? So actually colors of animals will signify something. Camouflage. Okay. So actually if you see the colors of these animals, normally some snakes will be present in that area, but we can't find that because the color of that animal will be like mixing with that environment, with that surrounding which is placed there. So why? Because to protect it from predators. That is the main reason. And do you know this butterfly will be having this kind of circles? Do you know this butterfly circles? On this design we will be having this kind of small other colors. Why? What is the reason behind it? Do you know about that? No? So if there is any predator coming to this butterfly, it will leave that what is that colors on that area, so that the predator will be assuming that something is there and this will be escaping like that. So every organism have its own defense mechanism to protect from its predators. So actually till today we didn't find this because this butterfly is like present in this wet evergreen forest, and in this wet evergreen forest do these leaves shed? No, leaves will not shed in this wet evergreen forest. So because of this color of this butterfly, no one had been identified till today. But for the first time we identified this new species of this butterfly in this wet evergreen forest of Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, because of this it is in news. Whenever any new species is in news, you may get a question on that. Last time they gave question related to 2025, I showed you that question also. Tarnulata, peacock tarnulata. It is a spider species which had been identified newly last year. And now this butterfly is there in news. You may get question on this butterfly. Yes. Earlier they asked question on spiders, they asked question on fishes, they asked question on snakes, they asked question on even this, what is that? Yeah, rabbits they also asked question. and they ask question on this squirrels. You may get question on this butterflies. Who knows? Okay, now let us see some facts. Please make note of some facts. A new species of butterfly found in Arunachal Pradesh. New species of butterfly found in Arunachal Pradesh, named after Zubeen Garg. Named after Zubeen Garg. He is the cultural icon of Assam. He is cultural icon of Assam. And this butterfly is seen in semi-evergreen forest. Semi-evergreen forest at elevation of 600 to 700 meters, 750 meters. At elevations of 600 to 750 meters. Commonly seen in South and Southeast Asia. Commonly seen in South and Southeast Asia. So on these points, UPSC can ask a question like in which area, which forest, elevation. It is seen only in India or other parts. See this next article, guys. Amid war, India sends out invites for BRICS meetings. Okay, why this article is special? War is going on and India is inviting foreign ministers of BRICS. Now here what you have to think, where war is going on, West Asia. Do we have any West Asian countries part of BRICS? That is the thing you have to identify, right? Amid war, that means despite of war, India sends out invites for BRICS meetings. Means what we have to see. So here if you see traditional BRICS, who are there? Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Are these are involved in any war? No, right? But here this title is saying that amid war, India sends India sends out invites for BRIC nation. That means what we can understand, apart from these 5 countries, there are other countries also part of this BRICS, and those countries are from this West Asia. Are you understanding? So now you guys tell me which countries of West Asia are part of BRICS. Saudi Arabia, UAE. What about Iran? Iran is also there, right? So here how can you expect a question? Consider the following countries. They will give you countries and they may ask you which of the countries are part of this BRICS, and they will include what? They will not only include this, it is very easy to remember this mnemonic, right? But what they will give? They will give the countries which are not part of this, which are not part of this name. So here now you guys tell me, BRICS means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 nation grouping. Apart from that we have other countries also add, 6, okay, BRICS, 5 only, no, 5 letters. Okay, 5 plus 6. So we have other 6 countries part of this BRICS. So if UPSC wants to frame a question, will they give these names which are part of this BRICS antonym itself? So you have to see what other names of the countries which are part of this BRICS. And now war is going on. For sure they will be giving countries as part of this West Asia. So you have to remember this West Asian countries for sure which are part of this BRICS. Like that you have to analyze like how the question can be given in this UPSC. You have to think that you are a question paper setup. If you are trying to make a question, will you give simple question? Let students write this. So your aim should be eliminate as many students as possible in this first level only, right? So you will using certain traps that you have to identify where UPSC can set a trap for the students. Okay, if you are thinking in that way, obviously you will not do any mistakes in your films. Okay, now let us see this article. India sends invitations for key BRICS meeting amid West Asian crisis. Okay, so because of this it is in news, and here you have to see some facts regarding this BRICS. Okay, so BRICS word came up into existence in 2001. At that time we have Brazil, Russia, India and China. Asia is not there. Later on South Africa joined this BRICS in year 2010, and later on we extended this membership for other countries. Now we have BRICS plus, that means these 5 countries plus 6 other countries. So please make a note, we have Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Indonesia, Saudi Arabia and UAE. So in this, which are the countries of West Asia? We have Iran, we have Saudi, we have UAE. These three countries. Apart from that, we have Indonesia, Ethiopia and Egypt. Okay. On this, for sure, you may get a question this time based on the members of BRICS. 5 plus 6, it is around 11. So what is the significance of BRICS? So as this article is saying that despite of this war, now we are going to conduct BRICS meet. That means this organization is very, very important. Because of that only we are conducting this kind of meeting, right, despite of this war. Now you guys tell me, what do you think? What is the importance of this BRICS? Are you understanding my question? What is the importance of BRICS? If this grouping is that much important, then only we'll go for this kind of meetings, right? Or else we'll not. Then tell me what is the importance. So you may get a mains-based question on the significance of BRICS. What will you write? Importance. Govind. What is the importance of BRICS? No idea. Today I'll be giving you the question on this. The first one is, to reform global governance. India is calling to reform international institutions to avoid Western dominance because India is leader of global South. India wants to raise the voice of developing and as well as least developed countries in this grouping because we have China, we have Russia and we have Brazil and we have India. So these are the major countries with most population, right? So if this grouping is becoming like more popular and more relevant, obviously we can raise the voice of these countries. And this one here is Global South leadership, and they are going to support multipolar world order. That is the next reason. And this one is we want to promote digital public infrastructure in this Global South. And actually India is having a balanced engagement with Western led groupings and as well as China, and we are focusing on preserving of our strategic autonomy. And even population and GDP contribution of this BRICS is also very high, and even we can increase our trade with these countries. So because of all these things, now we are going for this kind of meeting. Okay. See this next article, guys. Nearly 20,000 turtle eggs conserved on Hope Island. Now tell me, where is this Hope Island? Island means you might have heard about Andaman, Nicobar, Lakshadweep. Have you heard about this Hope Island? In Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh or Odisha? Andhra Pradesh only, right? So apart from major islands like Andaman and Nicobar and Lakshadweep, we have very small islands across this western as well as eastern coast. One very important island is Hope Island. For what? It is important for what? Olive ready turtles, right? So every year we will be having this season of mass nesting of olive redleys. It is called as Aribada. So at that time we will use this island for conservation of turtle eggs. So this article is saying that officials from this Wildlife Management Authority and Koringa Wildlife Sanctuary, they said that they had conserved around 20,000 eggs of olive redley on this Hope Island in Kakinada Bay in Andhra Pradesh. Okay, now you guys tell me, is it example of which kind of conservation mechanism? So in conservation we have two methods, in situ and as well as ex situ. What is this? It comes under in situ or ex situ? Ex or in? What is meaning of ex? We are taking that from that environment and we are keeping in seed bank or we are keeping in this parks, or whether if you are taking away, that is called as ex situ. So we are going for conservation in this area. So after hatching of these turtles, where will live? In that area only, no? So it is an example of in situ conservation. So they said that around 20,000 eggs had been collected from 174 nest of this olive ready turtles, and all of them being conserved under in situ conservation. So if you have seen PYQs, many a times UPSC asked questions regarding in situ and ex situ. They gave examples and they asked which of the above are in situ or which of the above are ex situ. So they may also give this example now, and they may also ask you whether it comes under in situ or ex situ. Don't keep that as ex situ, it is in situ. Are you understanding how the question can be asked? If you do PYQs, then you will be understanding like what is exactly the wordings of UPSC. Okay, now let us see the next article. See this, guys, a shade of dark. reassessment of framework governing rights of transgender persons is due. What is this article talking about? Transgenders Protection of Right Bill 2026. So this bill had been passed in Lok Sabha via voice vote. In Rajya Sabha also it had been passed. And now it is waiting for assent of President. Now the protests are happening. Why? They are asking not to sign. They are asking President not to sign this bill because we are losing our self-identity. Okay, and because of this bill which had been passed in different organization, wherever the transgenders had been appointed, they were resigning their jobs. Okay, now you guys tell me what are the provisions of this new bill. First one is they are losing their self-identity, and now they introduced medical board, and they increased the power of district magistrate. And next one is if they want to get the certificate of transgender, for sure they have to go for medical examination. Based on that report, they have to apply for the certificate before district magistrate. So that will also leads to increasing of delays. And next one is if they want to go for any surgical procedure, for sure that hospital has to intimate this district magistrate. That is also increasing the power of district magistrate. And next one is compulsory, they have to change their name. And next one here is they included punishments. If there is any discrimination based on transgender, then what happened? There will be a fine of 5 lakh rupees or even imprisonment. So all these are the provisions of this bill. So actually this article is saying that Nalsa judgment, Nalsa versus Union of India, in that case Supreme Court said that it is their Article 20, but it is their right to life and personal liberty. They can identify which gender they are. Now this is going to be violated. Because of this, what happens? There will be the executive and legislature override over this judicial interpretation. So because of this, they are doing certain protest. That's it, guys. See these questions. And this year there are some species in news. You may expect a question. Penguins, vultures, olive redleys, what we discussed earlier, lion-tailed macaque. What are the some other species in use? Asiatic lion. Huh? Great Indian bustard. Abhigna. Sarus crane. So which the number are decreasing. So focus on that, guys. For sure I am thinking macaque, bustard, penguins, and this olive redley will be there in the paper. So focus on these areas, at least one from this species. See this question, it is about olive reddy turtles. First one, olive reddy turtles are classified as endangered by IUCN. Second one, they are protected under Schedule 1 of Wildlife Protection Act. Gahirmata Coast is the one of the largest nesting sites in the world. So don't see the correct one. So try to eliminate the thing. So here if you eliminate one, you will be getting with the answer or not. So see now, which can be eliminated or which cannot be eliminated. Which cannot be eliminated? Which cannot be eliminated? What is that statement here? For sure that will be there. What is that? Third one? Third one is wrong. Tell me which cannot be eliminated. For sure it is under Schedule 1. Because of that only you are focusing on conservation. So in your answer, 2 will be there. That means you can eliminate this 1 and 3. Are you understanding? So now tell me which can be eliminated. 2 will be there. No, 2 is there in these 3 options. And Gahirmata is the largest nesting site, it is there. Actually it is not endangered, it is vulnerable, no. So if you see your UPSC questions, they are changing this category of IUCN. That is one trap they are using. It is vulnerable, it is not endangered. So answer is B, 2 and 3. Okay, see this question, guys. Consider the following nations: Brazil, India, South Africa, Mexico. Which of the above are the members of BRICS? It is very simple. I didn't complicated this question. So what is the answer? What about Mexico? No? Clear? Okay, in that way, I gave you very simple, but they may give you 5 to 7 countries also. Okay, 5 to 7 countries also they'll give, and this time they'll focus on West Asian countries more. They may give all West Asian countries also. Okay, be careful. Only in West Asian countries, 3 are part. What are they? Saudi Arabia, Iran and UAE. So they may give you in this 5 to 7 countries, all these West Asian countries also they may give. Okay, you have to be very much careful, guys. Okay, that's all, guys. By this I'm concluding. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like this class, please do hit the like button and please do share this class to your friends, and please subscribe to Rathod's IAS Academy. Thank you so much, guys.